Hola a todos, buenos días, buenas tardes y bienvenidos a esta primera entrevista en Testearla desde Argentina, Buenos Aires. Pero, bueno, si pensaban que todo esto iba a ser en español, no. We're going to switch to English now so that we can share with the audience a little bit. I'm sure you learned a few words in Spanish and you can here and there, but it's like a little bit like Sofia Vergara. She says, I'm funnier in Spanish than when you hear me in English. But, well, again, welcome everybody. This is Testearla' 2025 reporting from Buenos Aires, Argentina. And I have with me our amigos, masters of AI, Tariq and Dionny Santiago. Welcome, amigos. How are you?
We're good, man. Thank you for being here.
Very good, thank you.
Are you enjoying your time here in Argentina?
Very much so, man.
Absolutely. It's a beautiful, beautiful city. Amazing.
What are you enjoying the most about here?
About Argentina or the conference?
First, Argentina.
Oh, the steaks. So I had a competition between the steaks in Uruguay, the baby beef, and the steaks in Argentina.
You're getting a dangerous territory,
man. It's a hard one, man, but a beautiful journey.
Yeah.
I am very much enjoying the steaks, but also the weather has been amazing.
Yeah.
Coming from South Florida, where it's really, really hot and humid, to having, being
Nice,
able
cool.
to wear a sweater.
Yeah, it's not the hottest, it's not cold. I think it's
That's
right.
right.
It's just right.
Has been great. And so this is the first time for both of you in Testearla, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, this is the first time in Argentina altogether. So,
Yes, first time.
How do you feel so far about the conference? We're going to talk about the keynote that Tariq did, but how do you feel so far? How are you liking it?
Yeah, the conference vibe is good, man. I think everyone is pretty chill but ready to learn. There's a lot of activity, as you can see all around us. A lot of sponsors, a lot of discussions. Well organized, the food, the breakfast, like everything has been great. So congrats to Crowder for putting on a good show, a good first event.
Yeah, plus one to that. I've met some amazing people, have seen some amazing talks so far, and I'm sure there's so many good talks left throughout the day and tomorrow as well for the training day. It's been amazing. Definitely props to Crowdar and all the organizers who have done a phenomenal job.
It has been great, everything that they have put together. And especially, I'm really, really happy that they got all of us here from abroad, from pretty far places. We ended up here in Argentina, enjoying the food, enjoying talking to the people, the perspectives. And speaking of talking and sharing, I know that some of the audience may not be so familiar with you two. Would you mind giving a quick intro so that the people know who is Tariq, who is Dionny, and why are you here and why are you special?
Tariq King. For me, this is part of a long dream to actually come to Latin America and share. I'm here giving a keynote, which I gave this morning, on redefining quality in the age of artificial intelligence and how, as humans, we can do more experience testing as well as think about what the future entails for testers. Also, have a workshop as well, so that's going to be exciting tomorrow, having a training day and getting into how to test AI systems. And other than that, I work for EPAM, Testearla'25, head up that business unit. We're a sponsor here at the event, so it's great to connect with EPAM in Argentina. I just saw them at the booth, but we really just help people with their digital transformation journeys, and especially with their AI journey of late.
And how about you, Dionny?
Yes, I'm Dionny Santiago. I am a QA geek. I've been had a 17-year career so far in testing, essentially, and in AI over the last 10 years or so. And so I'm very, very passionate about the intersection, specifically between artificial intelligence and software testing. I think it's going to be super, super important. I'm also an engineering manager at Indeed, where I manage teams responsible for various different parts of the Indeed platform. And yeah, very like Tariq, very excited to share ideas and talk to like-minded individuals about some of the challenges in software testing and what AI is capable of doing and can potentially do for us.
Yeah, one other thing to mention that people
Bring it on.
may not know. Me and Dionny go way back. We met at Ultimate Software many years ago. I want to say decades ago. It sounds weird to say that, but we work together. Yeah, we're getting old. We work together also at Test.ai. So we've been also number one speaking and working together and going on this journey and seeing it unfold. So it's pretty cool to have you here in Argentina with me, man. So
I generally like to talk about these guys as the original hipster AI guys. They were talking AI before AI was in and cool, and they were the only ones when on those days back in 2019 and 21 before all the chat GPT
Before
explosion.
ChatGPT.
They were the only ones talking about AI, breaking walls and making progress, talking on conferences. You are the only ones, and you are the OGs in my experience. And I am always super happy to exchange points of view and have these conversations because you generally have a perspective from the very back
yeah,
when it was mostly there was no LLMs or all these things that we're playing with now, and to see the perspective on where things are now and how it's breakneck speed right now how things are changing in my opinion. But I would like to understand what do you see from last year. I think we spoke last year at Star East West, some of the Star conferences. Things change very fast now in AI. What do you feel about these new changes? What would you point out at people? This is a thing that has happened in the last few months, maybe,
yeah,
that you should pay attention to.
yeah. I'll let Dionny go first. You
Oh
go.
wow, yeah. I completely agree with you that things are moving at breakneck speed. I think that literally from 1 minute to the next, like I will open my phone and check all my various sources, and there's a high chance that there's been some new paper or publication or advancement, and it's so
Full new implementation
or a
of
new
something new,
implementation,
right?
yes, or an optimization for an existing implementation, and it's amazing to me, and I think that it's only going to get faster and faster, and I think this we're on an exponential curve and we don't realize it, and I think we're going to look back probably a few months from now and realize, wow, things have changed so much in just the last couple of months. Then, like, there has been more change in the last 2 months than in the last 5 years, and I think that's going to be there's going to be a wow moment for a lot of people where they're going to realize things are moving exponentially now, especially with the advent of self-improving AI. So many researchers and companies are trying to get to this artificial superintelligence, where it's essentially AI agents or LLMs that can self-improve. And I think that I actually think we're already starting to see some of that happen, and people are not realizing it. And I think once that technology becomes mainstream, if you will, that's the exponential curve that people are going to start to feel.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. I feel like it's actually too fast for us to all process and consume. So we're all in it, and it's moving. It's kind of like being on a journey or on a roller coaster, right? Like you're on the roller coaster, and before you hit the first curve, you're already like heading towards the next one, right? Hopefully, this is a roller coaster that doesn't crash or no one gets hurt. But I think the most that we can kind of do right now is do your best to keep pace. Maybe choose some areas that you're really interested and passionate about, and focus on those, and just kind of keep watching the general landscape, right? And see where, especially in a testing community like this, where you can bring value and you can add value because of your testing mindset, because of the different experiences that you've had, and bring that to the table. Because everything is moving so fast in terms of development, and as usual, things aren't moving as fast in terms of validation and verification of these AI systems, which are very, very critical and very, very important, and most of all, very widespread, right? And have the potential to have a great impact. So I would say be on the journey, but be a part of the journey, be a part of influencing it and impacting it. We can do a lot as humans because there's also a lot of us, right? And so if each of us is contributing, I think it'll also have a big impact on AI itself, right? So
It's something that, as you say, Diony, it used to be like last year. The big new thing was, and I always call it in conferences that this year is, I don't know, robotic automation, and the next year is the ledger, and then we have like a. But AI just became like 2 years ago, 3 years approx, like the big thing. But every month we get, like last time there were no MCPs, there was no, like the models were like some, I don't want to say buzzwords, but they are starting kind of to be like, if someone brings the MCPs mainstream, like how to say it, drag and droppy, more iPhone like, user friendly, that's gonna be a big, and it's coming anytime now. Or probably already happened. I don't know. And it gets ridiculous. What are your thoughts of when this gets really too good? Because still, we testers are in the loop because the hallucinations, the weird things, and funky answers. But it's gonna get, it's growing exponentially. It's gonna get really good.
yeah,
What are your thoughts on that?
yeah. I mean, I think like any technology, you kind of feel excited for it to continue to excel and give us new capabilities. I mean, to me, that's always the exciting thing about being a technologist, right? Is looking forward to what is the next new thing, big thing, what else can it do that we haven't been able to do before, kind of like breaking boundaries, right? Um, However, with that comes a level of nervousness as well, right? Because with any technology, people are going to use it for good and people are also going to abuse it or misuse it, right? So, that being said, like, hey, what can we do to make it safe, secure, and that part of worry comes in that world. But I would say mostly I'm excited, but I'm always like kind of cautiously optimistic. When I see a new thing, I look at it and like, yeah, that looks good, but bordering a little bit of a line there that might get really tricky in the future. So what can we do to put guardrails around it? So it's my feeling. What about you?
Uh, I feel that we're quickly approaching an inflection point. So if you imagine ChatGPT 2022, that was a pretty big inflection point. And I think that um, we're still pushing the boundaries and the limits of that technology, which is the transformer architecture. I think that once there is another breakthrough, like the I think that's going to start to get to the point where it's too good. But even there are some people in there are people in different camps, right? So there's the camp of folks that believe um, we cannot reach artificial general intelligence until there's another architectural breakthrough, and then there's a camp of people that believe we haven't yet pushed the current architecture to its limits. And so, to put things into perspective, right now, the biggest AI data centers are on the order of single digit billions of dollars to put them in place, to build them. There's a prediction that says within 2 years, that's going to go to $100 billion and beyond. So we're talking from single digit to triple digit billions of dollars are being invested to build data centers full of GPUs for the purpose of training these models so that they're bigger, 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 and better. And so that's the camp of people that say we can scale this technology so far beyond what we've been able to scale it now. And I am legitimately frightened to see what the models of 2 years from now, even with the current technology, are going to look like compared to the models of today when we're literally scaling the investment by 100x. And I think that's going to be quite scary.
There are elements where you mentioned the technology of the models, the version of the models, but the already existing models are getting trained and getting better themselves. I feel like it's multiplying the benefits and the growth. But you point on something that got me really thinking. Like, are all of our resources already dedicated for paperclip creation? You know the analogy that the AI will say, like, you create paperclips and the whole universe is gonna be paperclips. And nowadays, when you mention like the data centers and the billions and billions and billions being put into that, are we throwing too much at it? It has to be kind of a balance, right, in improving it or the physical, technological limits that we are reaching at.
I think that's a very good question. I fundamentally, I think that
You got me scared with the
Yeah.
data center growth and
Yes.
like, oh my god, yeah, that can be
Yeah,
a little bit too much, right?
I mean, fundamentally, I don't know what the limit is personally. I think that
But there's going to be one soon.
yes,
I do agree
I
with
think
that.
that there will be some physical limit. Some physical limit is going to stop us at some point. I just don't know what and when that is.
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, like when you think of the world, the information, how we have scaled up to now, it kind of feels like we had this gradual kind of increase, even though it's a big scale. It felt, hey, internet, information, ubiquitous computing, cell phones, all this stuff, like, kind of felt like we could manage how quickly it was coming. I think the biggest problem with this is not even the limit. I just think that how fast it's coming is going to be the bigger problem. Because I think people are going to continue to look for ways to actually increase the limit. Like that's what they're doing now in a way, right? That's why all the investment is there. So like, hey, can we do this at scale? How much can we
Pushing
invest?
boundaries.
Yeah. Can we see how far we can go? And yeah, there's going to be a limit, but I think that between now and any limit, there's just going to be such a rush, um, and it's going to be everyone trying to just figure it out. That I don't think the limit will be the biggest thing on our minds. um, I think it'll feel infinite, like, but it'll with anything infinite, it might be overbearing, right, for us.
It's unthinkable
Yeah,
exponential growth and in infinite limits
yeah,
for our human monkey brains is sometimes a little bit
yeah,
difficult. And I do agree, like keep up with the pace of change. I think it's the biggest challenge right now because many want to be like the latest trend, and now Chat GPT 4, 5, and
yeah,
7 and 8 is just like I remember the days that we were keeping up with Pentium 1, Pentium 2, and now it's the next with twice the speed, twice the power. But still, we managed to. And some of those past examples, I don't feel with Moore's law, we were kind of experiencing that, like doubling
yeah.
up and all that. But right now, it's more than doubling.
Yes.
Do you have recommendations for the audience and especially for QA professionals? What concrete actions shall we try to implement to keep up with this? And
Yeah. I had a question similar the other day at I was in Uruguay last week, and at that conference, it was a very similar question. And I only have one answer, and the answer is that as a human being or as a junior QA or a junior tester coming on the scene, there'll be so much, and so the important thing is just first try to get a foundation level of knowledge so that you have a solid foundation, because with the foundation, uh, you can sort of support anything else that comes at you when it comes. You can't support everything all at once, but what you can do is make sure that whatever you're able to learn and take in and do with AI, that you understand it well, right? Or at least to a degree where you feel competent in whatever you do. Because the worry is that people actually take on too much too fast, and everyone feels like an expert really quickly. Because the technology is there, like anyone can write a prompt and get information, and spit it back out. And it gives some people a false sense of being an expert. So number one, don't feel you're an expert. I've been doing this for a long time. Even if you just look at testing, and I know that I'm not an expert in testing.
I only know that I know nothing.
Yeah, you just kind of learn that you learn more, and that you feel like you learn a bunch of things, but you don't know it all. And the more you learn, the less you kind of feel like you really know. So that's important. Get a foundation, take it with strides, and I would also say block out things. Like I have to block out things all the time, because normally when these things would be happening, and we had a colleague of ours, Jonathan Beltran. Jonathan was our guy who, he still probably does this. I don't know how he's managing, but he would tell us about all the latest updates in AI when we were working at Test.ai, and even back in the Ultimate days. And I try to keep abreast, but now the volume is so big. I'm like, you know what? Even if I missed a couple things, it's okay. I need to keep my sanity, and then I'll try to catch up when I can, or I'll try to immerse myself around people who are talking about it and learn what I learn when I can. But there's no way that we can actually retain it all, right? So that's my advice. Just get your foundation, try to learn an area, learn it well, and kind of keep your mental sanity on how much is coming into your brain. It's just too much information.
We are already overloaded with notifications and doom scrolling and all that. On top of that, yeah, I do agree. Jonathan is very good at keeping up with all those things. Keep the sanity, super important. Dionny, what?
I'll add just a brief thing. Like testers, QA folks, like we have this responsibility. There's so
We're the
much.
guardians.
So we're the guardians. Yes. There is so much happening. There is so much changing. Every company is trying to build agentic systems, agentic software, and what does that mean? That the software is no longer deterministic, right? And so we have to, as testers, I think we are the best equipped with the foundations that we have learned by discipline. We are the best equipped to help our companies make sure that the things that we're putting in front of customers, when they're no longer predictable things that we're putting in front of customers, we do our best to try to take the unpredictable and make it as predictable as possible. And I think that is not easy. That is a very hard problem. And I think a lot of testers are afraid of AI because they think AI is going to take my job or whatnot. But there is a really important job for us here to make sure that the systems that we're building are not harmful, that they're producing value for customers, that customers are having a pleasant experience. To Tariq's keynote today was really a lot about the human experience and making sure that we're not losing that human experience when we're putting software in front of customers that is perhaps robotic, if you will.
That component on the human experience is something that makes me think, are we becoming the product of AI, or AI is a product for us? And this substitution that everybody's starting to be afraid. I like how you said it, like start to leverage it, use it as a tool. And I like the perspective, Dionny, that you mentioned, being kind of like the guardians of quality of these things. People, testers, if you have been trying to work around QA for AI, it's not predictable. It's going to be doing here and there so many random things, weird things. I have a feeling. Uh, any of you familiar with the books I, Robot from Asimov?
Yeah.
Now it's like those positronic brains that you don't even know what is happening inside, but you become the psychologist of the AI and you're trying to figure out, do you have a trauma? Why are you responding this? Why are you hallucinating? And that's going to be kind of our role now, to become AI psychologists to make sure that it doesn't misbehave. And I do agree. It's something that we will still have to be in front of it, guarding all the users, everybody with the AI, because as I was saying earlier, it's getting better and better, and it may get too good to still need us as simple. But for the nature of how AI works, I am almost sure that it always is going to be doing some weird stuff. It's always, you know better the technology behind.
No, I mean, Dionny mentioned it well. Like, it is going to continue to improve, but at the same time, it is highly non-deterministic technology, right? And so, how do you test something like that? There's only two ways, right? You either try to um, force determinism, right, which is not something that's very practical these days with AI, or you find a way to cover the non-deterministic behavior, right? And so I think we have to get very creative. I think we have to put guardrails. I think it has to be designed for testing. It has to be designed for security. It's not just let's test it after the fact. Like, we got to think about it during development and build in those safeties, right? So it's a whole exciting area because I think that it kind of brings like things like different types of testing, whether it be functional, security, performance. All these things become design concerns, right? And so you need experts to help with that. And so it kind of brings the testing community to the forefront. Now my performance tester is helping with the performance design scalability of the entire AI system, right? Now my security engineer is helping to do adversarial testing and design of the AI itself and helping with training as opposed to thinking about testing only after the fact, right? So it's great that we actually have this opportunity because it brings up a whole new set of roles, I think, for us. At the same time, we got to figure out how to do it. It's not just, it's you have to kind of bring yourself into the implementation of AI and not just being a user now, right? And this is where I think we have to start shifting, like how we're approaching learning about AI. Great, use it, but now get under the hood and see how it works. Understand that and how you can influence the design of it, right?
And to take a page from your PhD, Tariq, it's also about, I think, building innate testing capabilities in the software itself. I mean, that's one way that you proposed in your dissertation is you need to these systems that are non-deterministic need to be able to fundamentally need to be able to test themselves if they're self-improving.
This is true. And since we're calling out dissertations, of which you are doing yours now, the other key part that I was missing when I was working on that stuff is that to be able to do that, the system needs to be able to generate tests at runtime, which is really hard, which is kind of your focus, right? And so it's interesting to see it come full circle because when I was working on self-testing years ago and trying to get that publication of my dissertation all finished, I struggled with test generation. Now, like, we see your work applying LLMs, and even before that, recurrent neural networks, just doing test generation. So it's interesting because it kind of brings up the fact that we actually need AI to help test AI properly.
So I think it's agents all the way down.
Which is scary.
No, I
Agents
love
and
it.
humans, or humans and agents.
I love it. And now to ramp down a little bit, because I didn't notice, I got lost in the AI talk. I love it how they are not only, it's scary, there's worry, but they are already like seeing like this mythical unicorn of the self-healing, self-testing. You're not only seeing the problems, but the possibilities, the reach, and the things that we can do with this new technology. Because, like any other new technology that has appeared, has its downsides, but in general, multiple upsides that we can leverage and get excited about. I hope that you get as excited as they seem to be about all the ideas, and they are just bubbling right now. I see that. But now to wrap it up, amigos, a few last words for the audience before we get on to the next interviews and talks today, because there are some asados and cool things that we're gonna have.
Oh, yeah.
I will just say a few words. This is only the beginning of testing. I think that testing is here to stay. Testing is also going to have its exponential curve.
Yeah, for me, I would say to all the human testers out there, because there will be AI testers as
And
well.
even the non-human ones.
But for the human ones, I want to see you at events. I want to see you engaging with the community. I want to see you sharing and learning and being here, because I think this is one of the things that is going to make a difference. Us coming together, using our collective intelligence, also just experiencing it for ourselves, like through practical hands-on work, coming up with ideas, brainstorming it, and then going back and sharing with others. So thank you as well for all your work that you've been doing, because disseminating knowledge as well is important. So at least if people can't be here, it's good that y'all can hear the voices that are coming out of conferences like Testearla'. So
No,
Thank you
and,
very much.
and thank you to you too that are here exposing yourselves in the camera live on stream, not cursing that much. No, that was very- I really appreciate it, amigos. It has been a pleasure, and I have a feeling that we will see each other again soon. No, we will. We're gonna be in Star West in 2 weeks.
Star West.
In Anaheim, California. So stay tuned.
Yeah.
There are going to be interviews, adventures, tutorials, courses, and lots of things. These guys are really busy in the conference as well. So, amigos, gracias. It has
Gracias.
been a pleasure.
Gracias.
And there you have it. Our amigos Tariq King and Dionny Santiago. If you want to reach out to them, their names are there in the corner. That you can add them LinkedIn, Instagram,
yeah.
all those things. They are very active. And stay tuned because this is just the beginning. The beginning. Take two, beginning. And we're going to wrap up now with this interview. We're going to have next, I think, Javier Re, one of the founders of CrowdArt, who made all this possible. So let's figure out the adventures of putting together a conference. That's another big topic. Amigos, gracias again.
Gracias. Ciao.
Adios, everybody. Take care. Adios. And we're out. And we should be